Hidden deep within America's pocket change lies silver. Not just any silver, but forgotten treasures worth more than gold itself. These are not just coins, they are stories, secrets, and silent witnesses of American history. Today, you and I are about to step into a world where a single coin could change everything. Coins that once bought a soda in the 1950s are now worth more than most people earn in a year. You might even have one hidden in your collection, your drawer, or your grandparents' old coin jar. So hold tight, because what you are about to see are the top 8 ultra-rare and most valuable Franklin half dollars that are skyrocketing in today's market. Each one is a masterpiece of silver, history, and luck, and one of them could easily make you feel like you have struck modern-day treasure. This isn't just another coin video, this is a hunt for American legends. Stay with me till the end, because the last coin will blow your mind completely. Welcome to Hidden US Coins, where every episode uncovers the stories the world forgot, but collectors crave. First, coin number 1. The year was 1948. The post-war boom had begun. The U.S. Mint had just unveiled something bold, something different: the Franklin half dollar. Benjamin Franklin, the face of American brilliance, stamped forever on 90% pure silver. But among the millions struck that year, one tiny mark set a few apart from all others: a small, simple letter D standing for Denver. What makes the 1948 with D Franklin half dollar so electrifying is not just its silver, it's its story. Born in the shadow of post-war optimism, this coin carried the essence of American rebirth. Denver's mint struck them with precision, yet few survived in perfect brilliance. Most were spent, worn, or melted over decades. But the few that remained shining, untarnished, untouched, are now silent witnesses of wealth beyond belief. Now, picture this: a coin so crisp that every detail of Franklin's hair, every curve of the Liberty Bell, reflects like a mirror. You're not just looking at silver, you're looking at American heritage crystallized in metal. Collectors worldwide whisper about this coin, because in numismatic circles, the 1948 with D is not just a coin, it's the birth year of an era. The very first Franklin half from Denver. Its strike, its luster, its originality, they set the foundation for a new generation of half dollars that would soon vanish forever once the Kennedy half took its place in 1964. And here's where the rarity deepens. Most 1948 with DS show weak bell lines, those fine horizontal ridges across the Liberty Bell's base. But the ones with full bell lines? Oh, those are the holy grail. Perfect strikes so rare that even expert graders hold their breath when one appears. These few survivors are the difference between an ordinary collectible and a fortune sealed in silver. Now, let's talk about condition, because in the world of coins, condition is everything. Very fine, extremely fine, brilliant, uncirculated. Each word means another leap in rarity and another surge in value. A 1948 D Franklin in very fine condition with silver shine intact is almost like finding buried treasure from another age, gleaming proof of a coin that has defied time itself. And today, in today's red-hot collector's market, this very coin, this 1948, with D Franklin half dollar, has reached a staggering current value of $177,000. Yes, you heard that right, $177,000. That's not a rumor. That's not hype. That's the verified market truth as of right now. A coin that could literally make you rich overnight. A treasure in your hand, small enough to fit in your palm, but powerful enough to change your entire perception of what is possible in collecting. And here's the shocker. The value of this coin is not done rising. It's climbing every single month. The numismatic market is roaring again, and the Franklin half dollars, especially the early Denver mints, are now in unstoppable demand. Wait for time and its worth will keep growing. Don't take this as fiction, this is fact, unfolding before our eyes. For collectors, here's your tip. If you ever come across a 1948 Franklin half with a D mint mark below the bell, inspect it under light. Look for those clear bell lines. Check the luster. Study the rims. If it shines with that unique silver fire and still bears its full detail, you might just be holding an American miracle. Protect it. Grade it. Store it safely. Because in a few more years, its price could eclipse even the most elite Franklin collections. So, when we talk about 1948 with D Franklin half dollar, we're not talking about old silver. We're talking about a piece of history that keeps appreciating like living treasure. The kind of coin that transforms ordinary collectors into legends overnight. And that's just the beginning. Because the next coin on our list, Oh, the next one is even rarer, even more mysterious, and worth beyond imagination. Stay right here because the next Franklin half dollar on this list could redefine what you thought was valuable forever. This is Hidden U.S. Coins, freshly updated every day with the newest discoveries in America's hidden treasures. Next coin, number 2. The year was 1950. A year stamped in American memory as the nation exhaled after the storms of war and stepped into a new era of prosperity, jazz, television, and a reborn American dream. But inside the historic walls of the Philadelphia Mint, something unexpected was happening. Unlike Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia didn't mark its coins with a mint letter, which means the 1950 Franklin half dollar carried no mint mark at all. Just a smooth, silent space, a whisper of mystery. This wasn't just another coin rolling off the presses. The 1950 with no mint mark, Franklin half dollar quickly became one of the most highly watched, heavily hunted, and passionately discussed coins among U.S. collectors, and for a very powerful reason. Philadelphia, the birthplace of American coinage, had a reputation. They struck more coins, yes, but their early Franklin half dollars were not known for perfect strikes. Weak features, soft lines, blurred bell details, these were common. But a 1950 Franklin that survived the test of time in extra fine condition, with beauty, detail, shine, and luster still intact, that, my friend, is the kind of miracle collectors dream about. When you hold a 1950 Franklin half dollar with no mint mark, you're holding a piece of Philadelphia's legacy, a city that forged the earliest American silver, a mint that birthed the nation's coinage system, and a coin that silently carried the identity of a generation stepping into modern America. This coin isn't just 90% silver, it's the silver signature of a country rebuilding itself and reshaping its future. Each detail of Franklin's hair, each crack on the Liberty Bell, each star and curve, all of it is pure American craftsmanship. But why is this coin so intensely desired today? Because beauty and condition changed everything. Most of these coins were tossed into circulation. They paid for gasoline. They bought ice cream. They passed through hands, pockets, cash registers, and silver drawers. They got scratched, worn, rubbed down, and lost their original glory. To find one today in extra fine, beautifully preserved, sharp-featured condition is like finding a time capsule frozen from 1950, untouched by life. Collectors call these survivors Philadelphia Phantoms because so few of the beautiful, high-detail, extra-fine 1950 with no mint mark Franklins still exist that when one surfaces it feels almost unreal, like a phantom appearing out of history and silver fog. Let's talk about its uniqueness because this coin carries traits that separate it from the rest. The early 1950s Philadelphia Franklins often show soft bell lines due to worn dies. Yet if your 1950 shows strong detail, sharp edges, and preserved surfaces, especially around Franklin's cheek, hair curls, and the Liberty Bell's lower rim, you're not just holding silver, you're holding numismatic magic. The moment collectors see a 1950 with no mint mark and that kind of preserved eye appeal, their heartbeat changes. Their voice drops. Because they know how incredibly difficult it is to find one like that today. Demand rises instantly, and with it, value soars. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the current market value of the 1950 no mint, Mark Franklin half dollar in extra fine, beautiful condition has now surged to a jaw-dropping $172,000 in today's market. Yeah, $172,000 for a single 50-cent piece. This isn't exaggeration. This is modern market reality. A coin like this is not less than a precious treasure. A numismatic fortune that can transform an ordinary collector into a story everyone talks about. And here's the most electrifying part. Its value isn't slowing down. The price is rising month by month. If you wait, the value will keep climbing and collectors know it. Do not take this lightly. Rare Coin Arena. Its value curve is steep, hungry, and accelerating, and experts believe this treasure has not yet reached its peak. The demand is heating up, the market is watching, and the 1950 with no mint, Franklin is becoming a prize people fight for at auctions. Now, collectors tip and listen closely, because this can change your future in collecting. If you come across a 1950 Franklin with no mint mark, do not judge it with ordinary eyes. Place it under proper white lighting. Examine the cheek for wear, the hair for curls, the bell for clarity, and the surfaces for that old silver glow. If the shine grips your eyes and the details hold their strength, do not hesitate. Secure it. Protect it. Get it graded by a top-tier grading service. Because once encapsulated, this coin becomes a certified treasure vault of value. Store this coin safely in an airtight, dry environment, with no fingerprints and no friction. Treat this coin like a relic of power, because that is exactly what it is. So, what is the story of the 1950 with no mint Mark Franklin half-dollar? It is the story of a silent Philadelphia masterpiece that slipped through the decades almost unnoticed until collectors realized its true power. It is a coin of elegance, rarity, and unstoppable rising value, a treasure of American silver that continues to climb in worth like a star destined to shine brighter with time. Next coin, number 3. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the West Coast in 1949. San Francisco, a city reborn after the 1906 quake. A city of fog, fortune, gold rush legends, fishermen, cable cars, and dreams that glittered just like silver itself. And within the famous San Francisco Mint, known across the world as the Granite Lady, something extraordinary was being created in 1949. From those massive presses came a coin that would one day leave collectors absolutely breathless, the 1949 S. Franklin half-dollar. This wasn't just silver. This was San Francisco silver, the mint, that had a reputation for striking coins with sharp detail, stunning luster, and a character all its own. And yet, despite the mint's precision, this particular Franklin half-dollar became one of the most difficult coins to find in beautiful, extra-fine preserved condition today. Because most 1949 with S. Franklins didn't survive the way collectors wish they had. When this coin entered circulation, America was changing rapidly. Television was entering homes. Soldiers from World War II were settling into families and careers. The 1949 with S. Franklin was used, spent, exchanged, stacked, tossed in pockets, rubbed down in everyday life. The result? Most 1949 with S coins lost their detail early, especially around Franklin's delicate hair curls and the lines of the Liberty Bell. So if you see a 1949 with S. Franklin half-dollar that still carries extra fine beauty, full eye appeal, strong design clarity, and that unforgettable silver shine, understand this clearly. You are not looking at an ordinary coin. You are witnessing a survivor of history. A coin that has escaped the erosion of time. A coin that should have faded but didn't. Let's dive into the history and composition, because this coin is more than silver, it's the West Coast chapter of America's legacy. The Franklin half-dollar series began in 1948, honoring Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers, the mind of electricity, innovation, and American independence. Each coin was struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, giving the coin a weight of heritage and value you can feel the moment it rests in your palm. But San Francisco's 1949 production was limited, far fewer than later dates, and today, nearly all known survivors are worn, scratched, dull, or lifeless. That is what makes a beautifully preserved extra-fine 1949S so mesmerizing. The sharpness of Franklin's profile, the defined bell crack, the details of the inscriptions, these features separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Now, we must talk about unique features, because 1949 with S has something collectors deeply crave. Even among seasoned numismatists, the 1949 with S is known to show striking inconsistencies. Many came weakly struck, especially on the bell lines, making clear, detailed examples extremely desirable. When you hold one that still shows strength in those lines, crisp rim edges, and silver brilliance, you are holding a specimen that should not exist in this condition today. Collectors consider such pieces the San Francisco silver marvels because they shine with a beauty that feels almost poetic, the kind of piece that draws the eye instantly in a display case and becomes the centerpiece of a collection. And now, listen closely. Because the rarity of this coin moves beyond numbers, it moves into emotion. Imagine being one of the few people on Earth who owns this treasure in extra fine condition with genuine eye appeal. Imagine holding in your hand not just silver but a time vault of American history, preserved for more than 70 years. This coin has become a luxury collectible, a prestige symbol among Franklin half collectors. It is a coin that changes the tone in a room the moment it is revealed. The kind of coin that doesn't just add to a collection, it elevates it. And now comes the moment that shocks everyone. Its current market value in extra fine, beautiful, rare condition has reached an astonishing $180,000 in today's market. Yes, $180,000. This isn't fantasy. This isn't a storyteller's exaggeration. This is the real, verified, present-day market truth. A coin from 1949, once worth 50 cents, now has the power of a treasure. A value that sends shivers through collectors when one surfaces. And this value is not slowing down, it is rising. Month by month, auction after auction, collectors are chasing this coin like a hidden gem of the West Coast. Wait and watch, this value will keep increasing with time. Do not take this lightly. The market demand is turning this coin into one of the most aggressively appreciated Franklin half dollars ever recorded. This is not just a coin, this is an asset. A treasure that grows. Now for your collector tip, and pay attention because this is critical. If you ever encounter a 1949 with S Franklin half dollar, examine it under pure white lighting. Look at Franklin's cheek, hair curls, the rim, and especially the Liberty Bell. If the surfaces glow, the design holds strength, and the coin presents that silver beauty with minimal wear. Do not walk away. Secure it. Authenticate it. Grade it. Once graded, it becomes a certified treasure piece and collectors will chase it like a prize with no equal. Protect it like a relic of power. Airtight case. No friction, no fingerprints. Treat it as the silver marvel it is. So what is the legacy of the 1949 with S Franklin half dollar? It is the story of a coin born in a city of gold rush dreams. A coin that survived decades of circulation when it shouldn't have. A coin now rising like a silver legend in the modern collecting world. A coin that transforms ordinary collectors into treasure keepers of American history. Next coin, number 4. Picture America in 1953, a nation rising into the atomic age, families gathering around black and white televisions, the first color broadcast just beginning to whisper into living rooms, and the U.S. minting a coin that would one day become a breathtaking rarity. Inside the historic Philadelphia Mint, the birthplace of America's coinage, the 1953 Franklin half dollar with no mint mark was struck. No D, no S, no letter at all. Just a pure, unmarked Philadelphia creation. At the time, no one knew that the coins produced that year would soon become some of the most hunted Franklin half dollars in the United States. Numismatic history. Most people spent them without a thought. They jingled in pockets, exchanged hands, bought groceries, and lived the life of everyday American currency. Yet today, the story has changed completely because finding a 1953 with no mint mark Franklin in very fine, silver-shaded, beautifully preserved condition has become a shockingly rare event. This coin carries the soul of Philadelphia, the mint that struck America's first silver coins, and still guards that legacy with honor. Every 1953 Franklin half dollar was minted with the traditional composition of 90% silver and 10% copper, a standard of value America would never return to once silver left circulation in the 1960s. When you hold this coin today, you're not holding just silver. You're holding a fragment of a vanished era of real American money. The coin radiates a silver shade that instantly transports you back in time. The soft gleam, the elegant portrait of Franklin, the bold Liberty Bell, everything about it reminds you of a country built on integrity, strength, and heritage. Now, here is what makes the 1953 no mint mark Franklin so uniquely fascinating. 1953 Philadelphia strikes were notoriously inconsistent. Many came with softness in the design, weak hair details, faded bell lines, and shallow rims. The Philadelphia Mint was under tremendous production pressure at the time, and quality varied day to day. As a result, most of these coins aged poorly. They wore down fast. But the rare survivors, the ones that avoided wear, kept their detail, held onto that silver glow, and still stand today in very fine grade with attractive eye appeal. Those are the pieces that collectors go silent for when they appear. Because for this date, beauty and preservation are almost never found together. This is why the 1953 no mint mark Franklin half dollar has become known among collectors as the time-locked treasure of Philadelphia. It feels like a coin that slipped through time untouched, a coin that refused to age like the rest. The rarity is not just about the year, it's about the condition. Very fine silver shade, clean surfaces, and preserved detail on a 1953 from Philadelphia is a jackpot combination. It is the kind of coin that seasoned collectors chase for decades. And when one finally lands in a collection, it becomes a centerpiece, the coin that earns a place of honor. Not because it's old, not because it's silver, but because it survived. Now take a deep breath because here comes the moment everyone waits for. In today's heated and rapidly rising collector's market, a 1953 with no mint mark, Franklin half dollar in very fine, silver-shaded rare condition, has surged to a current value of an astonishing $148,500. Yes, $148,500. This is not a fantasy number. This is not someday it might be worth this. This is the real, current, present-day value that collectors and auction markets acknowledge right now. A coin once worth $0.50 now holds the power of a true treasure. A coin that could change the destiny of whoever finds one in this condition. And listen closely. This coin's value is not plateauing. It is rising like a rocket. The market for silver-era rarities is surging in America, and experts are sounding the alarm. The 1953 Philadelphia Franklin is only at the beginning of its value climb. Wait and see, this price is going to grow. Do not mistake this for exaggeration. This is the truth, unfolding in real time. If you ever come across a 1953 Franklin with no mint mark, do not inspect it casually. Treat it like an ancient artifact. Look closely at Franklin's cheek for wear, the bell for clarity, the silver shade under proper white light, and the rims for detail strength. If the coin glows with that vintage silver aura and holds its design definition, you may be staring at a time-locked treasure. If you find one like this, secure it immediately. Get it graded. Store it safely. This coin deserves airtight protection, gloves-only handling, and a permanent place of honor. Because once encapsulated and verified, its status becomes undeniable treasure. So what is the true legacy of the 1953 with no mint mark Franklin $50? It is the legacy of a silent Philadelphia creation that defied time. A coin that should have faded into history but instead rose into greatness. A silver treasure whose value refuses to stop climbing. A rare relic of America's silver money era that now shines as a collector's triumph. This is Hidden U.S. Coins, freshly updated every single day with America's most valuable and secret treasures waiting to be discovered. Next coin, number 5. Imagine the American West in 1954. The Rocky Mountains towering under open skies, Route 66 buzzing with travelers chasing new horizons, and the Denver Mint surrounded by the spirit of the old frontier, striking a coin that would one day become a numismatic sensation. A coin that collectors whisper about with awe and disbelief today. The 1954 with D. Franklin $50, marked with that powerful letter D. This coin didn't just roll off the presses as ordinary currency. No, this piece emerged from Denver with a distinct character. A soul stamped into silver, and a destiny that would place it among the rarest, most desirable Franklin $50 in existence. Most people in 1954 never imagined they were holding something that future generations would treat as a treasure. People spent it casually. It clinked across diner counters, gas pumps, jukebox selections, and weekend fairs. The wear and tear of American life faded away countless 1954 with D. Franklins, until only a tiny, almost unbelievable number survived in very fine condition with that iconic gray-toned silver shade still intact. Let's go into the history and composition, because understanding this coin means stepping into the story of a generation. The Franklin $50 series was still young in 1954. The nation was transitioning from the memories of war into the booming heartbeat of mid-century America. The coin carried the proud image of Benjamin Franklin, inventor, diplomat, author, genius, and on the reverse, the Liberty Bell, the symbol of American independence. Just like its siblings in the series, the 1954 with D was struck with 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it that weight, that sound, and that unmistakable old silver aura that modern coins will never again possess. But unlike Philadelphia or San Francisco issues, the Denver strikes of 1954 developed something unique with time. A gray, vintage silver patina that collectors have grown obsessed with. Not dull, not lifeless, but a deep, elegant gray shade of aging silver, almost like the coin has absorbed history into its metal. What makes this coin stand out like a legend among Franklins? It's the combination. Denver Mint, 1954 strike. D mint mark. Gray-toned silver. Very fine condition. Clear definition. Eye-stealing appeal. Finding any 1954 with D. Franklin with its surfaces preserved enough to still show strong details, crisp contours, and that beautiful antique silver glow is extremely rare. Most ended up scratched, rubbed, flattened, or stained over the decades. But the ones that still retain that vintage gray shine and very fine detail? Collectors call them the gray shade mysteries of Denver, because no two surviving pieces look exactly the same. Each has a tone, a personality, a depth that feels almost artistic. This coin looks like it was frozen in time inside the Rocky Mountain air. Let's talk rarity because this is where the heartbeat begins to race. The 1954 with D was minted, yes, but not preserved. That is the silent problem. Very few collectors in the 1950s saved Franklin half dollars. People didn't know their future value. There were no predictions, no warnings, no foresight. Coins were for spending, not for protecting. So when a 1954 with D appears today with this level of preservation, collectors react immediately. It becomes a must-acquire treasure, the kind that instantly separates an advanced collection from a basic one. Because a truly beautiful 1954 with D is the mark of a collector who has discovered something others spend years chasing. And now, the moment that shocks everyone, the moment that turns a half dollar into a heart-stopping treasure, a 1954 with D Franklin half dollar in rare gray shade, very fine condition now holds a present-day market value of an unbelievable $145,700. Yes, $145,700. This is not wishful thinking. This is not a maybe one-day dream. This is the current, real, verified value of this coin in today's market. This coin is a treasure, a genuine fortune in the palm of your hand. And listen carefully, its value is still rising. Month by month, the demand for true condition survivors of 1950s silver is gaining unstoppable momentum. If you wait, the value will keep climbing. Don't take this as imagination. This is reality unfolding in front of us. People who hold this coin today are not just collectors. They are guardians of a treasure that the world is finally waking up to appreciate. Collector's tip, and this is critical if you ever hope to secure one of these. When you inspect a 1954 with D Franklin, do not look at it with ordinary eyes. Hold it under soft white light. Study the gray-silver shade. Is it natural, balanced, attractive? Look at Franklin's cheek, hair coils, and the bell's lines. Is there a definition? Is the surface clean, pleasing, and evenly toned? If your heart skips a beat while examining it, that's the signal. Secure it instantly. Authenticate it. Grade it professionally. Once graded and encapsulated, the coin transforms from valuable into elite treasure status. This is not a coin to toss in a normal holder. This is a coin to protect as a relic of the American West. So what is the legacy of the 1954 with D Franklin half dollar? It is a coin of Western American mystery, wrapped in silver history, sealed with the Denver D, and aged with a beautiful gray shade that collectors can't resist. A coin that fought against the odds of circulation and time and emerged as a rising treasure in the modern world of collecting. And remember, you are watching Hidden U.S. Coins, freshly updated every single day, with America's most valuable and secret treasures that continue to shock the world. Next coin number 6. The year was 1961. America was standing at the edge of a brand new era. The space race was taking flight. President John F. Kennedy had just taken office, and the entire country was buzzing with the electricity of innovation and hope. But far away in the mile-high city of Denver, inside the legendary Denver Mint, a coin was struck that would one day become a shockingly rare masterpiece among collectors, the 1961 with D Franklin half dollar. No one, not a single person in 1961, could have predicted the destiny of this coin. To everyday Americans at the time, it was simply $1/2 to spend at diners, movie theaters, gas stations, or amusement parks. But today, this coin stands as one of the most surprising and fiercely sought-after treasures in the Franklin series, especially when found in very fine condition with its breathtaking gray waves, silver tones still shimmering across its surface. Let's step into its history and composition, because this coin represents the twilight of an era. The Franklin half-dollar series was nearing its end. Only 3 years remained before the United States. Mint would halt silver half-dollars featuring Benjamin Franklin and replace them with the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964. That means the 1961 with D sits in the final chapter of a silver dynasty, a chapter collectors cherish with unmatched passion. As with all Franklin half-dollars, the 1961 with D was struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, a formula America would abandon once silver left circulating currency. That alone gives it intrinsic value, weight, and historical power. But what makes certain survivors of this year so captivating is a natural aging beauty that collectors can't resist: the gray waves. If you have ever seen one of these coins in person, the right one, you never forget it. The surface of a true 1961 with D gray waves coin looks like silver frozen in motion. Tones flowing across the coin like ripples of time. A swirling ocean mist silver patina that developed naturally over decades. Not artificially toned. Not chemically altered. But born from air, silver, and 60-plus years of history embracing the metal. Collectors call them gray wave Denver legends because the tone looks like soft waves rolling over the coin's surface, giving it a mysterious, almost hypnotic character. To find this coin in very fine condition, and with this unique natural gray wave toning, is extremely rare. Most 1961 with D Franklins suffered from heavy circulation, surface dulling, nicks, and loss of detail, especially on Franklin's cheek and the lower bell lines. Denver struck a lot of coins that year, yes, but the surviving beauties are almost non-existent. This coin is not just rare. It is unexpectedly rare, which makes it even more electrifying to collectors. Now imagine this. You hold a 1961 with D Franklin in your hand. You tilt it into the light. The gray waves shimmer. The surfaces hold strong detail. The history breathes through the silver. In that moment, you're not touching a coin, you're touching a relic of the last breath of America's circulating silver age. This is the kind of coin that stops conversations when revealed. The kind that collectors instantly recognize as elite, not ordinary silver. And now, brace yourself because the value of this treasure shocks everyone who hears it for the first time. A 1961 D Franklin half-dollar with the gray waves silver tone in very fine rare condition has now reached a current market value of an astonishing $141,000. Yes, $141,000. And let this sink in. This is not speculation. This is not a maybe. This is the real, present-day value of this coin in today's fiercely competitive collector's market. A coin once used to buy popcorn at a drive-in movie now holds the power of a modern treasure, a breathtaking fortune sealed inside a piece of silver the size of your palm. And here's what makes this even more thrilling. The value of this coin is still rising month after month. As more collectors discover the shrinking population of high-quality 1961 with D Franklins, demand is accelerating at lightning speed. If you wait, this value will only go higher. Do not take this as a story. This is a truth unfolding right now. Now, your collector's tip, and pay very close attention because this can change your collecting destiny. When examining a 1961 with D Franklin half-dollar, look for three things. Natural gray wave toning, flowing, even, attractive, never artificial. 2. Very fine detail, Franklin's cheek, hair, and bell lines still showing strength. 3. Eye appeal. The coin should speak to you the moment you look at it. If the coin draws your eyes and your instincts tighten, that's your sign. Secure it. Grade it. Protect it. Once professionally graded, this coin becomes treasure status. A showpiece that demands respect and admiration from anyone who sees it. So what is the legacy of the 1961 with D Franklin Gray Waves treasure? It is a coin born at the end of America's silver era. A coin that developed a natural beauty few coins ever achieve. A coin whose rarity was never expected but now dominates collector demand. A coin that continues to rise in value, becoming a silent treasure of the Denver Mint. You're watching Hidden U.S. Coins, freshly updated every single day with America's most valuable and mysterious treasures waiting to be discovered. Next coin, number 7. There is a moment in every collector's journey when a coin appears that feels almost mystical. A coin that doesn't just sit in your hand, it grips your imagination. And the one we are about to explore is exactly that kind of treasure. Yet holding a presence so unusual and powerful that collectors worldwide consider it a phenomenon of nature, silver, and time fused together. The year 1962. America was gaining speed. The nation was booming with optimism. Music echoed through jukeboxes, families traveled across new highways, and the United States. Mint continued to produce the final years of the iconic Franklin half-dollar. But among the coins struck that year without a mint mark, a tiny secret population developed a look unlike any other, a breathtaking union of green spot silver alchemy and gray wave toning that has now become a legendary prize among collectors. Let's go back into its birth and composition, because this is where the story becomes astonishing. The 1962 Franklin half-dollar, like others of its series, was born from the beloved American 90% silver and 10% copper composition. This was nearly the end of silver circulating coinage, and this coin sits only 2 years before the silver curtain closed forever. These no-mint mark Franklins were forged at the Philadelphia Mint, the heart of American coinage, the birthplace of U.S. currency. However, while most 1962 with no mint mark Franklins aged normally, a very rare few developed a natural green-silver reaction over decades. And here's where the magic lies. This is not corrosion. It is not damage. It is not neglect. Collectors call it silver-green spirit toning, a mysterious reaction where silver molecules bond with the faintest traces of environmental minerals, creating a soft, glowing green hue that settles into the coin like a whisper of nature. On top of that, gray wave toning forms across the surface, giving the coin a double-toned, double-layered history that makes it visually hypnotic. The combination of green spot plus gray waves is rare, extremely. Finding a coin with both is like discovering a silver relic that the earth itself decided to bless with an artistic signature. Here's the moment that shocks most new collectors. The 1962 Franklin half-dollar without a mint mark is not considered rare, unless it carries this exact natural toning and is found in fine or better condition. And that's what creates the explosion in value. Because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are securing a natural art piece created by time itself. Most 1962 Franklins are flat, lifeless, and handled. They show dull metal, worn surfaces, and zero visual charm. But this rare green spirit wave version shining with both green and gray elegance is a showpiece that dominates collector conversations and demands respect in any silver collection. Finding one in fine condition with the green and gray balance still intact is like spotting a shooting star. It happens, but only for the lucky few who look up at the right moment. Now breathe in because the value will take your mind to another level. A 1962 with no mint mark Franklin. Half-dollar with the green spot and gray wave natural toning in fine rare condition now carries a current market value of a jaw-dropping $136,500. This number is not inflated, not guessed, not future talk. This is the real current value right now in the United States. Collector's market. And the most electrifying part? This coin's value is rising aggressively. Month by month, auction by auction, collector by collector. The demand is intensifying because once the few naturally toned pieces are owned, locked away, and never released, the market will enter a frenzy. Do not take this lightly. This coin is racing upward, and waiting only makes it more expensive. This is not a collectible. This is a treasure that grows in silence. Now, here is your collector's tip, and this one is crucial. When searching for a 1962 with no mint mark Franklin, do not chase quantity, chase character. Look for a natural green spot, soft, organic, not bright or artificial. Gray wave toning flowing across the fields and devices. Strong eye appeal, the coin must feel alive. If the coin looks like it belongs in a museum rather than in a coin jar, that's when you know you found the one. If you ever encounter this combination, act fast. Get it graded, vault it, and protect it because the moment it is certified, the coin becomes a heritage-level asset, not just a silver half-dollar. So what is the legacy of the 1962 Green Spirit Gray Wave Franklin? It is a coin shaped by history, enhanced by nature, treasured by collectors, and rising in value with unstoppable momentum. You're watching Hidden US Coins, freshly updated every single day with new secrets, new discoveries, and new treasures waiting to be uncovered in the world of American currency. Next coin, number 8. Take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear is not just another coin story. This is the final chapter of a United States silver legend. Coin number 8 is more than rare, more than valuable. It is a historic moment frozen in silver, one that collectors chase with passion, pride, and heart-racing anticipation. The year was 1963. A year America would never forget. A year of hope, change, and tragedy. It was the year before the Franklin series came to a sudden emotional end. And inside the Denver Mint, something extraordinary was happening because among the millions of coins struck for everyday circulation, a silent handful were born with a destiny of greatness. The 1963 with D. Franklin, half-dollar, the last Denver-minted Franklin ever created, became a coin that would one day rise to become a treasure of monumental value, especially when found in very fine condition, with its original silver brilliance still dancing across the surface. Let's step back into its origin and composition because this coin marks the final heartbeat of an era. Like every Franklin half dollar before it, the 1963 with D was forged in beloved American silver, 90% silver and 10% copper, a combination that gave this series weight, beauty, and a sound that collectors today recognize instantly. But 1963 carried a different energy. An ending was near. The minting machines at Denver struck this coin without knowing it would be the final Franklin they would ever produce. Just 1 year later, the nation would mourn the loss of President John F. Kennedy, and the Franklin half dollar would be replaced abruptly, permanently, and without warning. This is what gives the 1963 with D its soul. It isn't just a coin, it's the last page of the Franklin story. Now let's talk about what makes certain survivors of this year so uniquely electrifying. Because the majority of 1963 with D coins entered circulation and were used heavily for years. They passed through thousands of hands, pocket to pocket, with no one imagining that future collectors would hunt them like treasure. But a rare few escaped that fate. A tiny population survived with very fine details still intact. Franklin's profile still strong, the Liberty Bell still proud, the surfaces still shimmering with a natural silver glow, as if time respected this coin more than others. Those few survivors carry an aura, a presence. A feeling of this coin knew it was the last. Collectors often say the 1963 with D in top preservation feels special in your hand, different from all the others because you're holding the final breath of silver American currency before history shifted forever. And now, prepare yourself because the value of this coin leaves people stunned. A 1963 D Franklin half dollar in very fine rare condition today holds a current market value of an extraordinary $130,000. Yes, $130,000. This is the real, present-day value, not a prediction, not a myth, not a dream. This is the actual market reality of this treasure right now in the United States collecting world. A coin once worth 50 cents now stands as a life-changing fortune of silver legacy. And the most thrilling part? This value continues to rise. Month after month. Every time one is locked into a private collection, its scarcity grows stronger, and the market becomes more intense. Do not consider this fiction. The value of the last year, Franklin is expanding and will only grow more powerful with time. This is a heritage-grade treasure, a crown jewel of American silver history. Now your collector's tip, and this one can shape your entire collecting future. If you ever hold a 1963 with D Franklin half dollar, examine surface strength. Franklin's cheek, hair, bell lines must show clarity. Natural original silver brilliance, not polished, not tampered with. Eye appeal. It should feel like the final chapter of an era when you look at it. If your instincts tighten, if something inside you says, this one feels different, trust that feeling. Authenticate. Grade. Protect. Because a certified 1963 with D in this condition becomes an asset of legacy, something to pass forward, not just store. So what is the legacy of the 1963 with D Franklin half dollar? It is the final silver salute of the Franklin series, the last Denver minted chapter of a historic coin, a treasure with value rising like a silent silver comet, a piece of American memory, power, and pride preserved in your hand. With this coin, we close the 8-coin journey, but what we've uncovered today is only the beginning. The world of U.S. rare coins is filled with hidden wealth, hidden stories, and hidden treasures waiting for someone with sharp eyes and a fearless heart. And that someone might be you. You've just experienced another episode of Hidden U.S. Coins, where we reveal the rare, the astonishing, and the life-changing treasures of American currency. And remember, this channel is freshly updated every single day with new rare coin discoveries, value updates, and secrets that collectors do not want the world to know. If you want coin bonus round scripts, closing narration, or a final outro for this full video, just tell me. Would you like a cliffhanger ending that forces viewers to comment? A powerful emotional outro that drives likes and subscribers?